Rage fired and his team followed, sending rocket after rocket up at the giant bugs. The projectiles exploded against the huge bug's armor. Not one of the creatures slowed or fell. "What the fuck?" Rage grunted as he prepped a second rocket and fired without missing a beat. Same results. Nothing. Then the smaller bugs pressed in on the team from all sides. "Back to back!" Rage yelled as he got to his feet and flipped his rifle back around to rip some roaches open with more plasma. 3 ranks deep, the bugs fell, but the massive ones were still coming. Rage counted maybe 10 seconds until the huge things were on top of him and his team. "Command, this is Rage. We have unknown bogies coming at us. Request air support now!" Rage yelled over the comms. "Contact in 3 seconds. Assistance needed now!"
"Negative, Master Chief Sergeant Major Rage," a calm voice replied over the comms. "Your team is only authorized for ground combat. Air support was not budgeted for."
"Take it out of my pay, goddammit!" Rage screamed. "We're about to get torn to shreds!" The smaller bugs fell over and over as Rage's team kept their barrage of plasma blasts going full throttle. Then the aliens stopped coming and quickly retreated. The giants had reached Rage's team and nothing wanted to be in those behemoths' way.
"Negative, Master Chief Sergeant Major Rage," the calm voice stated. "Air support must be requisitioned 3 business days prior to launch of an operation. You did not provide the proper forms for air support to be authorized."
"Field override!" Rage shouted as he looked up at hell on legs. 3 dozen hexagonal eyes stared back at him.
"Field override pre-denied," the voice replied. "Command has determined the benefit does not warrant the cost. Your team is on its own, Master Chief Sergeant Major Rage. Good luck, and remember that we are all equal in Earth Corps' eyes. Oh, and don't forget, Thursdays are half-price draft beers in the commissary."
The comms went silent as the giant roach that loomed over Rage reached down with one of its many claws and plucked him up off the ground as if he was a twig. "Motherfucker!" Rage roared as the thing's quadruple mandibles opened wide to chomp him in half. Rage felt ribs crack despite the strength of his combat armor. He screamed in pain and anger as the giant roach's mouth grew closer and closer. "No one takes Rage alive!" Rage bellowed as he set his rifle to overload and chucked it down the massive bug's gullet. The thing's mandibles clicked shut. It swallowed hard, coughed a little, then shook its head over and over. Deep inside the creature there was a massive explosion, and ochre-colored blood began to trickle from out its mouth and 18 nostrils. Then it burped smoke, let go of Rage, and toppled over into one of the other giant roaches, who quickly shoved it away so it could keep eating 2 soldiers at once. Rage hit the ground hard and pressed his finger to his ear. "Overload your rifles!" he ordered as he got to his feet, his ribs already healing, and looked about for a stray rifle he could jigger and use. That's when he saw the horror and carnage the battlefield had become. He ignored the dozens and dozens of shredded and mutilated roaches. He only had eyes for his fallen, or still falling, team. Bodies were everywhere. Limbs, heads, torsos were strewn across the ground like so much flesh confetti. Those still alive were 20 feet up in the air, being chomped to bits by giant roaches. Blood fell like sticky rain. Skin and bits of armor came down like nightmare hail. Rage shook with a fury he'd never experienced before, mainly because he'd never come close to defeat in his spotless career as one of Earth Corps' best and brightest killing machines. Rage waded through the offal of his dead comrades and picked up every rifle he could get his hands on. Loaded down with more weaponry than one man could think to wield, Rage spread his stance, placed his hands on his hips, and shouted, "Who's first, assholes?" Most of the giant creatures stopped in mid-chew, giving each other side glances that ranged from confusion to amusement to annoyance. "You!" Rage roared, pointing at the closest giant roach. The thing glanced over its huge shoulder, then looked down at the human. "Yeah, you!" Rage continued. "Come and get me!" The huge creature looked to its fellow giant roaches. A few shrugged while the rest went back to chewing up and swallowing what was left of Rage's team. "What's wrong? You some chicken shit? That it?" Rage shouted. "Just like a bug to be a chicken!" The massive alien finished swallowing the man it had been eating, rolled its dozens of eyes, and reached down to pluck Rage from the ground. Rage let him